What's going on, gang? What's going on? Happy Sunday. We here, we in the building. 19 times we've done it. Can't wait to do it 19 more. His Ghetto Point of View is here today, guys. How y'all doing? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what part of the world you're listening in. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me right now. I appreciate you giving me this time. Please continue to like, share, subscribe. Send in all your questions, comments, critiques, criticisms. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. HISGHETTOPOINTOFVIEW. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. You are in for a treat today. Got some dope guests coming in the building. I don't want to make too much noise about it. I'm going to just let it roll up. I'm just going to let it happen. It's like when you get that goodie bag of a bunch of different type of shakes from your local established proprietor. You get that shake bag from your local established proprietor. It is just a mix of a bunch of good top shelf strains, just all together. This is going to be a good Sunday. You about to have you a good Sunday. So, yeah, man, get some libation going, get something going in the ether, and let this play through your speakers. It's your boy D-Stage. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. I was about to see my old radio name. Oh my God. Oh man, good money radio days. I was about to throw out DJ Just Incredible. Oh man. Yeah, that was a long time ago, man. We really was at the forefront. Like I don't even like to talk about this because it's so sad, because it just, to me, it's a story of black men just not trusting one another enough, not trusting the process enough, not trusting the systems we were putting in place enough, not believing in ourselves enough, not believing in our faith enough, not believing in our conviction on the morals we say we stand on enough. Tell you a little story. Uncle Trav got a story to tell. Uncle Phantm got a story to tell. Like sum up, Uncle Phantm got a story to tell. Right, so I came into this situation where they had these amazing producer, engineer guys who had done stints at like Chun King and the Hit Factory, and now they had they had been bouncing around the city for a while now, putting their own spots together. Even had some of the huge passive Yuri speakers for anybody who's into tech stuff. They had a pair of the 730B Uris. I'm talking about these huge, massive speakers that you would see like in a big PA of a big church, or a large PA for a movie theater, or a large PA for some type of big dance hall or event space. They had these just in the studio. When I met them, they weren't using them at the time, because every time they tried to run them, they ran so much power, and they had moved more to they were re-establishing a residential space into a studio at this time, and they had been there for a couple years, and so they had some new gear. They didn't need to necessarily use the stuff they got from Hit Factory. For those that don't know, Hit Factory is like one of the legendary studios from the New York City area. The who's who of the world made a lot of music there, and these gentlemen happened to do some time working out of there, and were gifted this huge pair of speakers as the place was slowly closing and fading out of existence. Unfortunately, a lot of big studios that's happened to out here. So anyway, I say all that to say, these were some young up-and-coming brothers who had an amazing idea, had the equipment, had the know-how, had the tech savvy, and it was just a matter of putting it all together. It was just a matter of everybody staying in their lane and everybody doing the things that were best for the team overall. It was just a matter, to me, it was just a matter of trust and loving one another, like we said, we set out to. Because that means you love everybody's families. If people got kids, or if people got wives or fiancés, if people is trying to go to school and people got school bills coming. It's loving everybody's future as much as you love their present, so that you would do all the things necessary to make sure they get to their future, because their present is their present, but their future is written in the stars. And we were all doing odd jobs and different things to help supplement income, in addition to me starting to engineer there and starting to really bring in a lot of different clients. I mean, I was bringing ADR, voiceover work, independent movie work, of course, audio engineering work, but it was really starting to get to a very type of clients, shooting music videos for people. I mean, literally, we had a very wide array of product offerings that we were giving people. It was dope. And I think, the potential was in the clouds, because I was in school at the time and I was learning more about business and marketing and branding and also audio engineering. And, so the future was really in the stratosphere for that business. You had some amazing individuals who were really into tech, talk about digital data recovery, asset collection, asset retrieval, electronic data, like digital forensics, people that were like Microsoft certified. I had my Apple certifications in certain of their OSs at the time. I think I was OS X certified. So, with the trainings I was receiving, the trainings they were receiving, the computer savvy they had, just the network of people that we all were bringing to the table, man, I need therapy sessions about this place, man. I swear to God, I need therapy sessions about this place, because the potential for that place was written in the clouds, man. The potential for that place was through the moon, like past the Milky Way galaxy. On top of doing all of those service providing things, we started a podcast, and we were doing 24-hour streaming of cameras across the web to our own website, running our own servers. And it's like, I tell people these things now, and it's like they don't even believe that we had that much of an extensive setup, self-contained. You running your own servers, your own website, your own, your own live streams, your own. Yeah, we were doing this stuff like 10 years before New York City became a hotbed for podcasting. It's just really unfortunate, because I feel it was just bad leadership, man. I feel it was just really bad leadership. I feel that none of us trusted one another. None of us felt we could rely on the rest. As money starts to trickle in, money starts to tear people apart. People's lives change. Children are born. Fiancés coming in and out the picture. Girlfriends coming in and out the picture. And because stuff wasn't ran, to me, with a strict discipline, stuff, we didn't really have separate roles. We didn't really have a separate accountant. We didn't have a separate CEO, separate from the accountant, separate from possibly the COO, so those three individuals could, kind of butt heads about the different things that needed to get done. We didn't have a CFA, so a CFA, a CFO, or a CFO, COO, and a CEO could all butt heads. We just had, kind of one individual playing all of those roles, and unfortunately, that's a lot for one individual to do. Then myself, I'm playing my sales roles and my production roles and my filming roles and my, and I'm loving it and I'm learning a ton, and I'm very thankful that I had that opportunity. But what I regret is that I feel that place could have been so much more. I feel that studio should be one of the premier production facilities in the city right now, with all the filming and podcasting and music that goes on in the city right now. I feel that with that many people and that many people's resources and know-how, I feel that that place should be one of the preliminary facilities in New York City, if not on if not in the East Coast region, Hudson Valley region, whatever you want to call it. I feel that that place should be a regional destination for multimedia at this point. But unfortunately, sadly, it had to close. Dealt with infighting, dealt with robberies. trauma. Just dealt with a lot of trauma that I feel is trauma that was just a further manifestation of the fact that black men just don't trust each other. Black men just have been put into this space where we don't feel we can get anything accomplished together. We don't feel we can get anything accomplished as a group. We don't feel we can work together. We feel we have to work for other people. We don't feel we can rely on one another. We don't feel we can accomplish our goals as a team. We have to fight. We have to argue. We have to cuss one another out. We have to, and I'm not saying these things were happening with all of us individually. I'm just saying as a whole, how we behave as black men in society when trying to do business, or just patronize one another's businesses, or just support each other's financial endeavors. Unfortunately, these things end up happening. We end up fighting, arguing, gossiping, physically fighting, financially fighting, removing our support, removing our resources, divesting our time, divesting our efforts, dividing up the small pots of wealth that we do accumulate well before they're at their maturation. We do all of these things to destroy one another. We do all of these things to destroy one another. We do all of these things to destroy one another. And I'm just so saddened for my participation in that. I was very young at the time. I was, 18, 19, 20. Worked the studio from about 18 till about 27, 28. And I just, like 18 till about 26, 27. I was there for about 10 years, almost 10 years. And, man, I just feel like I learned a ton. I put my hands on so many projects. I did so much. But there was no next step after that. We didn't elevate the business itself like it could have gotten to, we were right there at the start of a hotbed and a media explosion in New York. And, how we just stayed the course and just stayed consistent and continuously invested in ourselves and continuously believed in ourselves and stayed through the hard days, stayed through the rainy days, just grinned and bared it. I just only imagine how everyone's lives would be now. I can only dream about how amazing everyone's lives would be now. So amazing. So amazing. R.I.P. Good Money Studios. R.I.P. GMS Studios. R.I.P. Good Money Media. United Media LLC. Literally had episodes of shows on MTV Africa. Literally had a television show where we were interviewing the who's who, everybody. Kanye West, before he was like really big. Just really, man. The content that that company just has, just in its black box of amazing people that we interviewed. Bill Clinton, Jaimin Hanzu, Paul Roses Apegina, who was the person that the film John Cheadle played in, Hotel Rwanda. We actually interviewed the real person that the film was about, in addition to interviewing Don Cheadle, who played that character, Paul Roses Apegina, in the film. Bill Clinton, Kanye West, Alicia Keys, Will Smith. For those into Afrobeat, we interviewed some amazing African artists, particularly, the gentleman's name escapes me. He's one of the hugest artists in the world, and I promise you to come back to me when I'm not even thinking about it, because that's how this stuff happens. Genevieve Ananji, who's a huge Nigerian, Niger, Bollywood, Nollywood movie star, Akon. The list goes on and on of the amazing people we got around and interviewed. Wale. So amazing. It was so many different pools of resources that we were pulling from, so many different networks of people that we were collectively bringing together. You had old heads, young heads, middle of the road, all bringing their energy, their efforts, their resources, their talents, their technical know-how, their business savvy, their political savvy, their political pull, their leverage, their friendships, and it just a lack of trust, mismanagement of funds, just lack of faith in the black man, lack of faith in each other as black men, a constant fear in the back of your head that this is never going to work out because it's ran by a bunch of black men. It makes me so sad when I think about that place, because it's like, damn. Just think what could have been. Just think what could have been. I really just think what could have been. United Media LLC, man. The movie wing, the film wing. We shot commercials for Raw Mixtape magazine. So we ended up meeting Jim Jones and a bunch of people from Dipset and Diplomats. My partner, he edited that diplomatic immunity movie. Oh man, I mean we did so much, man. One of my partners, he worked at Viacom for a long time and MTV for a long time, so it was cool. It's just an interesting thing, man. Like, it's just so interesting to think about. It just... I don't know what to say, man. It just... It gets me down. I'm not gonna lie. It gets me down. I don't know what to do. When I think about that place, it just... I feel like it's a dream deferred. I feel like it's that one girl that got away. It's that love unrequited. It's that, yeah, things was looking real good. Y'all was damn near down the aisle, and then it was just I can't get married. I can't put the ring on. I can't commit. I love you, but I don't love you that much. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's really crazy. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. What are you going to do? What are you going to say? All you can do is be appreciative for the dope times you had. I mean, I learned so many things there. I met so many people there. So many lifelong friends. So many lessons in business. And so many things I learned about computers and technical stuff. Finance. Working for self. Being an entrepreneur, hustling, marketing, promotions, advertising. So while that place physically itself may not have gotten to the place that it needed to be, the lessons that I took from there will always be with me in any new endeavor I do and any new adventure I take on. And so I'll always have that place to thank. I'll always have Good Money Studios, United Media, GMS, the Good Life Foundation, because we had the after school program as well, where we helped out so many kids. I'll always have those places to thank for so much of the stuff that happened with me, so much of the stuff I'm thankful for. So much of the things I can accomplish now and going forward are because of all of the amazing adventures I had at that place. So much of the work ethic that I've developed is because of everything I went through at that particular facility. I really, really appreciate it. Late nights, early mornings. Just the discipline just to work on songs all day. The discipline to work on songs. Then be on the air doing radio. Then go back to work on songs. Then go engineer. Then go do a show. Then go to school, because I was still in school at the time. I've been in school this whole time. just finally completed the masters and ready to go back and find other stuff to work on. I've always thought this stuff was my life and interesting, but that facility took my passion and my desires and the school training I was getting and gave me a place to practically put it into practice every day, and then gave me a love and a desire for film, because I always wanted to work on film, but I never really got into it until I worked at this studio. And then lo and behold, I end up doing it in school, and lo and behold, I end up getting to teach film. So amazing, man. That place really changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my life. And I just wish that we had really taken that place to the pinnacle, to the point that it could have gone to. So yeah, this is Uncle Phantom's Good Money Studio story. It's crazy. But yeah, it just is what it is, man. And shout out to everybody that worked at Good Money Studios. Shout out to everybody that was at Good Money Studios before I got there. Shout out to everybody that, continued to carry on the flag after I left. Unfortunately, shortly after I left, things happen, things fall apart. I do wish I could have been there to participate more. Feeling maybe I could have helped keep it going. But the team that I was there with didn't work there any longer. A new crop of guys came in that didn't really have the same vision and, were buying it out from a business perspective. So, all of the business dealings were going to have to completely change. But I feel, again, that was all because of the lack of faith. Because had we had faith in ourselves, we would have never, myself was not included in this deal. I actually got bought out. And because I had helped, as I was there for so many years, you work in a place for a long time. You see it needs new speakers, it needs new cables, it needs new mics, etc. You start to invest, because you're not just a worker. You have stake in the company. You're not just an employee. You've become a part owner as your time has gone on extended with this particular company. So you start buying gear. You start really feeling like an owner. One of the things that one of the old head owners tells you is, put some skin in the game. Put some skin in the game. Put some skin in the game. Don't be afraid to invest. Put some skin in the game. It'll always come back to you, So, I did that. I put some skin in the game. Bought up gear. I was bought out as the new team was coming to transition in. As I was bought out, new team transitions in. Place doesn't run like it used to. Things fall apart. What can I say? What can I say? It's insane. All you can do is, hope for the best for the future. Take the lessons that you've learned at one business, translate them to the next, and keep moving forward. And so I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in now. I've taken all those lessons and I've applied them over 10,000 times. Studios I work out of now are so dope. The business relationships I've work with now, the business relationships I've cultivated at this point are such an amazing thing. And I wouldn't really have it any other way at this point, to be honest. I think all of those lessons were just blessings and stepping stones and jewels that I needed to learn. And, like Thanos, I needed to fill up my glove full of gems. So then when it was time for me to really take the mantle, take hold, take charge, my power gloves have stones that shine bright. I've learned hard these lessons. And I take these lessons with me everywhere I go. So shouts to the team over there. And I hope everybody that worked over there can have continued success. It seems like it's been that way. Everybody who I keep up with from there, have went on to have amazing success in their areas of focus. So that's been dope. Unfortunately, a lot of that success has come in aligning and affiliating with outside brands and outside labels and outside organizations. But nevertheless, it's been success, It's been good stuff. It's been blessings. It's been well wishes. It's been financial gains. Houses expanded, families grown. But as you get older and you start thinking about legacy, back then I wasn't thinking about legacy plays. Back then I was just thinking about right now. As I'm sure many of those individuals was. Because, we wasn't promised tomorrow. We're never promised tomorrow, not even today. But as you get more established in your fields, the need for immediate satisfaction goes out the window. As you can start to take care of your day-to-day needs, your need for an immediate fix goes out the window, and you can start to play the long game. But that takes time, That takes a lot of time. That takes a lot of effort. That takes persistence. That takes sacrifice. That takes having a goal in mind as a group and having your individual goals not get in the way of that team goal, because everybody's going to have their individual pursuits. Everybody's going to have their individual marks that they define success as. Everybody's going to have those individual checkpoints and check marks and places they have to reach in their own lives to make themselves feel happy and content and satisfied and not having a million what ifs. So as long as your individual pursuits, your individual goals, your personal agendas don't supersede the team's agenda, they can actually work hand in hand. You seeking your personal agenda can actually benefit the team if your personal agenda is something that ties back into the team or that also helps the team. You know what I mean? Jordan is always going to be remembered as a legend from an individual standpoint, but Jordan's individual success is only recognized because the Chicago Bulls, the organization that he played for, have 6 championship titles from a professional basketball league that is argued to be the best, highest level of difficulty league to win in the entire world. So yes, Michael Jordan sells billions of dollars of sneakers for Nike, but that's a different conversation for other days. Michael Jordan sells billions of dollars of sneakers, sells billions of dollars of merch, has been in Space Jam, Hanes commercials. He's had tons of success on and off the basketball court. But none of that success would happen if he wasn't an amazing individual talent. But his amazing individual gifts shine the brightest in a team setting. His amazing individual talents shone brightest in a team setting. He played a team sport, but was allowed individual success and individual shine time in that team sport. And so because he had individual success and individual shine time in his team sport, the team looks good. He looks like a legend. The team and the organization is seen as one of the most iconic, legendary organizations to play at and play for. Even to this day, they have ravaging, hungry fans that remember those times because that gets passed down from generation to generation. So now you have these long-lasting super brands that were built off of the blood and sweat of individuals who took their individualism and their individual desires and geared them towards team goals, team success, and organizational thriving. And once the organization started thriving, the team goals were all put in place. The team was winning, everybody killing, and the individuals all benefited. The individuals all succeeded. The individuals all won. People say Scottie didn't get the contracts that he should have gotten in that situation, but then Scottie ended up getting tons of money because of that situation. So like I say, yeah, that particular studio, Good Money, United Media, GMS, Good Money Radio, all of those smaller businesses under the Good Money umbrella, the United Media umbrella, didn't fully manifest to where they could have been But everybody's been doing their thing since then, and that's been dope to see and a beautiful blessing to watch. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. This is his Ghetto Point of View, where I bring you the news, views, reviews, and previews with just a twist of my Ghetto Point of View. It's going to be a dope show today. It's going to be a dope show today. It's going to be a dope show today. I got one of the dopest guests coming in the building. This is a treat. I promise you, y'all going to love this. Stick around. Tell a friend to tell a friend. His Ghetto Point of View is on Wednesdays and Sundays. His Ghetto Point of View is on Wednesdays and Sundays. And I got an amazing guest lined up for Wednesday, too. The ball is rolling, y'all. I'm just feeling so great. I'm feeling so blessed. Wednesday's going to be 20. We doing good, man. We looking good. We feeling beautiful. We feeling blessed. We feeling empowered. And I have the most amazing, most beautiful, most brilliant audience in the business. I have the most amazing, most brilliant, quick-witted, kind-hearted, not playing no games, not taking no shorts, never capping, never caping, telling it like it is, keeping it 100, nitty-gritty, upscale, high-class, ghetto fabulous. I mean, I have a mix of some amazing people in my audience. Everybody from teachers, law enforcement individuals, doctors, people that's really heavy in the politics, people that's really heavy in the conscious community, people that's really heavy in them streets, and everybody in between, man. Pimps, prostitutes, and preachers is all welcome. Pimps, prostitutes, preachers, and pushermans and police is all welcome. Y'all all welcome. You're welcome. You're all welcome. In the words of Frank White. Welcome. And you're all welcome. You know, you're all welcome to hang with me. Come see me at the Plaza Hotel. I got work, you know. Come see me at the Plaza Hotel. I got work. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Wednesdays and Sundays, we do this. Shouts to the team at Anchor.fm. I couldn't do anything without you guys at Anchor. Y'all are absolutely amazing. It's brilliant. I appreciate the platform. Shout out to the people at Apple. Shout out to the people at Spotify, Google Podcasts. Now, Overcast. It's Republic, Radio Republic. I mean, it's just so many amazing people I have to thank that allow me to get on this and do this every week. You know, Amazon podcast, you know, through your Alexas or just through the Amazon podcast. Definitely shout out once again to Anchor, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Republic, Radio 1, Overcast, Google Podcasts. You know, the places is growing that the podcast is being reached. If you need just stuff in front of our amazing, illustrious audience, his Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. If you have a product, if you have music, if you have anything that you'd like to get in front of our amazing audience, a new book, a new film you're working on, the trailer's out, a new video game, a new app you're dropping, his Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. A new dating app, his Ghetto Point of View, his Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. You opening up a new daycare, new barbershop, new beauty salon in the NYC area, new daycare in the NYC surrounding areas, new beauty school in NYC and surrounding areas. I mean, pretty much anywhere, because I have a global audience. If you opening up something that you think people would be interested in, if you're doing an online school, his Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We here Wednesdays and Sundays. We getting to it. We having fun. We having a blast. We being positive. We being radiant. We manifesting our infinite selves. We manifesting the abundance of energy that we want to live with. We not giving a damn. 2020 is looking crazy. 2020 is looking mad. 2020 is looking savage. But we surviving. We making it through. We doing great. We doing better than great. We living. We motivated. We hungry and we pushing forward. We knocking 2020 in the face. We smacking 2020 in the mouth. We could give a damn about what 2020 has to trying to whip out and pull out. We busting back. We not taking no for an answer. We yelling and we screaming at 2020. Yeah, we've lost loved ones. Yeah, we've lost friends. Yeah, we've lost family. Yeah, we've lost colleagues. Yeah, we've lost children. Yeah, we lost wives and husbands. But you know what? We still here. We're still strong. We're still standing. We're still going forward. Yeah, we fighting through the tears. Yeah, we smile while we bleeding. And you know what? We still shining. We still golden. We still chosen. We still selected. We still breathing. We still looking. we still walking. If we ain't walking, we crawling. We moving through our wheelchairs. We moving on our crutches. If we ain't got hands, damn it, we got somebody else helping us eat and helping us bathe. God damn it, life is good, and regardless of how bad life gets, life is good. Every day above ground is a good day. Every day you have to change your life surroundings. Every day you have to breathe in some more of this air, whether you say it's polluted and contaminated, whether you say this is the most beautiful, crisp air in the world, you be right either way. As Confucius said, you're right either way. So let's just enjoy this life that we have while we have it. Because as we seen, nobody's promised tomorrow. From old heads to little babies, from our elders, from our seniors to our most precious newborns, nobody is promised tomorrow. Cherish the life, cherish the loved ones. Love your loved ones. Support your loved ones. Grieve with your loved ones. Bleed with your loved ones. Die with your loved ones. Live with your loved ones. Smile with your loved ones. Share with your loved ones. Laugh with your loved ones. They're your loved ones for a reason. Sometimes they're the ones you love to hate too. But that's what life is about. That's what life is about. That's the beautiful journey that we on out here. We getting to it. We striving. We thriving. We ain't just surviving. We doing it with irreputable, remarkable timing. You know. Shout out to Cannabis. Can I boss? My old heads out there. The irreputably remarkable timing. I'm like Charlie Chaplin pantomiming. Yeah, man. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. So yeah, Uncle Trav, Uncle Phantm just had to give you that story. So I say all that to say, brothers, trust each other. Love each other. Rock with each other. Survive with each other. Provide for each other. Sisters, my queens, because y'all go through the same stuff. Y'all very catty with one another. And black women as a whole are putting out more businesses than black men. And a lot of times, unfortunately, those businesses don't really have many employees. They are sole proprietorships with just one employee, the black woman being the CEO, CFO, COO, main employee, logistics operator, handling shipping, packing, producing, buying, being the buyer, being the main promoter, like being security. That's a lot of roles for one or two individuals. So if we just have more unity, men and women, amongst ourselves, as men having unity with men, women having unity with women, and then collectively us having unity together, and then especially as family units, and then especially in our communities, our neighborhoods and our communities, to turn our hoods into neighborhoods, to turn our hoods into communities. We need more business amongst ourselves. We need more trust amongst ourselves. We need more love amongst ourselves. And we have the ability to love each other like we love others. We have the ability to work together like we work with others. We have the ability to cultivate our relationships like we cultivate relationships with others, and we cultivate the relationships of others. Sometimes we the best executive producers in the world. We know how to put everybody together to get beautiful projects done. But when it comes time for us to put projects together for ourselves, we sit there scratching our head, and sometimes with the blank stare, pretending we don't know how to get it done. So that's very unfortunate. And I would hope that we would take all those beautiful skills and that ingenuity, that creativity, that masterfulness, that ability to absorb and remix absolutely anything from music to clothes to applications and computer software, that ability to literally remix the matrix of life and to make it always be reinvented, doper than it was before. That's that magic that we need to start putting to use for the cultivation of our communities, for the future of our generations. Because it's there. And it's a everlasting gold mine. It's a waterfall that never dries up. It's a pool of a well of water that will never run dry. It's just who gets to drink, who gets to be nourished, who gets to grow from the waters of that well, the gold of that mine, the diamonds of that mine, the oil of those reserves. Who is getting to benefit from it? It's about time that we benefit from it as much as everyone else. Scared money don't make no money, and fair exchange is no robbery. Scared money don't make no money, and fair exchanges is no robberies. Fair business or no business. Fair dealing or no dealing. Fair dealing or no dealing. We don't get what we deserve, we get what we negotiate. We don't get what we deserve, we get what we negotiate. We get what our self-esteem will allow us to have. We get what we feel we're entitled to. We're so deserving, we're so talented, we're so awe-inspiring, we're so beautiful, we're so artistic, we're so creative, we're so loving, we're so kind. We have such green thumbs, we have such good hands, we have such brilliant minds, we have such strong bodies, we have such big muscles, strong backs. Women have such beautiful wombs, healthy bosoms, life-giving bodies. Brilliant minds with life-creating ideas. It's time to put all that stuff to use for us. Start to make our own empires out here. I think we'd be pleasantly surprised with what we could come up with. I think we'll be pleasantly surprised at our brilliance. I think we'll be pleasantly surprised at our brilliance. I think we'll be pleasantly surprised at our brilliance. I'm about to get out of here for a sec. Drop some tunes in. I'll be right back. Shit. Bring our first guest in. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. This is his Ghetto Point of View, bringing you the news, views, previews, and reviews with just a twist of my Ghetto Point of View. Sundays is fun days and Wednesdays is hump days, and we do it on both. You know what I mean? Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Yeah, we'll be right back.
Hello? Hello?
Shauna,
Hey!
good. How are you?
I'm good. I thought it was like a video recording.
Oh, nah, just a call-in vibe. Thank you so much
Oh,
for taking the time out. How you feeling?
yeah, I'm good. How are you? How you been? I haven't seen you in forever, bro.
That's a fact. I just been, healing up, just trying to get back in the swing of things. Everything's been going well, thank God. And yeah, just trying to get back in as fast as possible if I'm to get my feet wet and get moving.
No, I definitely get it. I definitely get it and understand. Definitely understand that for a fact. So
So
how
how the hell are you first and foremost? Like before we jump into how's everything been going with you? Like that's a fact. We ain't seen each other. Congratulations on graduating.
thank
Like that's
you.
that's definitely a long time coming and much deserved. Like, you know what I'm saying? You really put LIU on your back, like no cap, no cape. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Thank
I just saw
you.
a brief glimpse of what you did when I came there for my master's. And I know you had been there already for your undergrad,
Yeah.
holding it down, doing the event planning, coordinating, trying to really lift the school up. You know what I'm saying? So
Thank you so
you
much.
did it so deserved, like real talk, because you really put together an amazing resume that people twice your age don't even have yet.
Thank
So
you. Thank you. And it's
everything is well deserved, and every blessing that's gonna come to your door is because you decided to knock on the door and get that shit yourself. So, like for real, you're really inspiring, Shauna. Like
Thank you so
no
much.
jokes.
It means a lot hearing that because, sometimes you have your moments where you're trying to, like, you may feel a little out of it, especially like working in this field. It can have its overwhelming moments. But, like, to have
Yeah,
people like you, who have not known me as long, chime in and, like, say that. And that's based off of your observations and just from what you've seen and, like, experience from just our little conversations and stuff like that. It means a lot. So thank you. It really, really does
yeah.
mean
And
a
then
lot.
here, before I even got to really like know you, like just hearing Kenyatta talk about you, like, oh yeah, you gotta meet Shauna. She's out here, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's doing this, she's doing this, she's
And that's
really
things
organizing it.
I didn't know. Those are things I never knew that were said, you know? So like even hearing that means a whole lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kenyatta, he loved the shit out you, man. Like he used to always be like, yo, she's really trying to put this whole school on her back. And like it's wow. Like just the few things I got to see you do, the couple of events I got to see you, all the energy I got to see you just pulled there to the school. Like, yo, wow, like
I tried,
wow.
you know, I tried, especially because, like, no, seriously, because let me tell you what it was. When I came into LIU, I started college 2012. LIU was lit.
Yeah,
And I've been was hearing LIU was lit since, like, and it's not until I got into LIU, I learned it used to be even more lit than what I've experienced, you know?
mm,
So, like, if the school changed drastically, like Spike Lee used to come to our basketball games. He used to teach there. There used to be like, you know, he has his room in the Spike Lee room in
Spike
the
Lee
LLC
auditorium.
building.
Like,
Yes, in the LLC building. Because from my understanding, he used to teach there. He used to attend our games. Like then we had
wow,
like the Avena Lounge, and then you know when the gentleman died, they used to always maintain the Avena Lounge. I think his name was Jason. God rest his soul. He passed. He got murdered in Crown Heights. It was just a lot of
damn,
changes took place. A lot of different changes took place. LIU wasn't what it once was, and then I saw it try to like come back with the whole Greek life thing. But I think even that too, it could have only done so much. And then we used to have more Black employees there that were like really for the students, and you know, so just seeing just the transition of LIU, it was like, all right, let me try and see what I can do with the radio station, you know, because I didn't know the radio station used to be on BCAT. I grew up on BCAT like as a kid, you know, like
right,
there was
absolutely.
so many different things that changed. So it's like I didn't want to see it full, especially studying what I was studying and being in my field. It's like when people hear LIU and then to meet different people in the industry who have, like, you'll be surprised, some really big names have had relatives that work at LIU out, like in the financial aid office, a very well-known disc jockey from a very well-known prestigious radio station, legendary hip hop station. His sister used to work in financial aid. Then there's another
Wow, I didn't even know that.
yeah, then there's another big radio guy from another prestigious hip hop station from based in New York. He used to have a little show because he was a part of one of the frats. And the radio station used to really be ran by the Sigmas back in the day. He was real close with one of the Sigmas. He was in a different frat from him, but a D9, and he had a show there. So I didn't know like they had that LIU had that much history under its belt. So why let that go to waste, you know?
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. You really came in and grabbed the baton and ran with it. That's from putting events together,
Mm-hmm.
like from all different aspects, whether it was just like some party vibes or some entertainment vibes, or
Yeah,
when you started doing the stuff for the department and putting together those
in the
what would you call
panels.
the panels? Absolutely, I couldn't think the word. Thank
The
you. Like yeah, when
panels,
you was bringing the
yes.
panels and having everybody, like that's so dope. And like speak to how hard it is to coordinate something like that and have it go off. Maybe not perfect, but with just as few hitches as possible. Because your events, the ones I saw, never really had like no issues. Everybody came, like it wasn't no dramas and nothing. Everybody coming to just share love and spread to the people. Like
Yeah.
speak to how hard that is to pull off.
It really is hard because I would say this, the last year of the radio station's real like existence, I would say was
Yeah,
spring 2019. I put together the panel with my bro Kirk Knight, shout outs to him. He Central
yeah,
Era,
definitely.
he spoke at the panel. My friend Papa the Don, he performed at the panel as well. This is like right when he signed his deal, you know. Um
Nice.
I had a couple people speak, my mentor Reggie Hawkins, Giselle, a former alumni from LIU. She worked at BT. She spoke at the panel as well, you know. Another alumni from LIU who used to work at Title, she spoke. So that's just to name a few. Ivy Rivera, she spoke as well. So with that being said, it was really hard, and a lot of people don't know. I put that panel together in less than a month. In less than a month, it was getting people paid, making sure their checks came on time. Because, you know, some people don't like to, especially with universities, they want their money up front or like
Of
half
course.
up front and then the other half, but they have, but then some people understand like, oh, with universities, the check is cut. Like, you know, luckily people's checks came day after, but it was just all of that and more. And then, you know, LIU is very strict on outsiders because, like I said, but excuse me, when I was a freshman, things changed. I remember there was a big fight that broke out in the Avena Lounge, and unfortunately, it was one of the main reasons as to why they're so big on outsiders coming on campus. And if it was an outsider
Right.
coming on campus, they had to be checked in, and the names and a list of people who were coming had to be provided at least 3 days in advance, and then there was a
In
limit.
advance. Yeah.
And then there was a
Yeah.
limit. So it was all of that and more. So, but luckily, by the grace of God, it pulled off really well. It was a great networking experience to see so many people come out and show love. And then, you know, it was something I decided to do last minute too, because I normally do the Caribbean Carnival, and that year we didn't receive a budget for the radio station. So it was like, okay,
Wow.
cool. I have to figure it out some way, somehow. So we had whatever little money left over in the budget. So I'm like, okay, I could use this minuscule amount to try and pay these panelists to speak. And
Mm.
granted, I would say out of all of them, only one of them really asked for a fee. The rest of them, because I knew like them personally and they took the time out, I said, let me compensate you for your time because you really didn't have to be here, you know? So
Word.
it
Word.
like with, especially for people, anyone who's at that would listen to this and who's at a university, I know every university operates differently, but from my understanding, I think
Mm.
the standard across the board, especially with compensating your guests, is that, you know, they get their check the day of. So getting that paperwork in, and then it's just a lot, you know, the standard they have to go through this department, that department, a whole 9 yards. But other than that, like I did most of the promotion by myself with the assistance of like Woodley, and then of course whoever it was that was going to be speaking on the panel. So that kind of
Shouts to
helped.
Woodley.
Shout outs to
He's
Woodley.
a real one.
Woodley's a real
Shouts
one,
to
yeah.
Woodley.
Woodley is another great WLIU alumni. So Woodley's another
Word.
one. But yeah, it wasn't easy, but we made it happen and it was a success. And I got really great compliments on it. Like an A&R from Cinematic, she even had said to me like, yo, this was probably one of the most informative panels I really ever attended. I think you should do another one in the fall, but for the women.
Mm.
Unfortunately, when the fall came, um, the studio. So anyone who attended LIU, they know that we have recorded studios in the basement. Remember, the studios
Yes.
flooded. I don't know if you knew, but the studios
Yes.
flooded when they hit a pipe of
Yeah.
some sort during construction
Yeah.
time over the summer.
Uh-huh.
So it
Yeah.
messed up a lot of the audio production classes. With that being said, now what happened is that the radio station, being that it fake technically was inactive. We didn't really have an executive board. There was nothing we could really do because the climate, the audience of LIU has changed tremendously, tremendously. So we just, I guess it came to like a final decision that the media arts department will now have a hold. They own the radio station, and then it's beneficial for their
Wow.
students, yeah, who want to like
Of
pursue like
course.
radio broadcast, which I think that should have been,
Come on.
yeah,
Absolutely. That makes so much
it
sense
makes
to
it
marry those two in the first
it
place.
makes more sense because it used to be segregated, you know? Hold on. I'm so sorry.
That's crazy. No, yeah, take your time. Appreciate.
Uh, yeah, so with that being said, I'm sorry, my mother was calling me. Yeah, so with that being said,
Oh,
the
good.
radio station owns the media arts department owns a radio station now. So they were planning on revamping those studios and actually turning them into like full recording studios. I think they plan on keeping one of them as a radio room. So we lost access. We didn't have the key no more or anything. So
Wow.
yeah, radio after that panel, I radio station hasn't been active. Hasn't been
That's
active at
unfortunate.
all.
Hopefully they get all that
I think
organized.
I think they
But
will now, especially since the announcement with the School of Rock Nation.
yes,
I
yes.
think that
That
actually
should be dope. And
that should be a vibe. I'm actually would love to see how that plays out. And you know, I'm hoping that even our professor that we had, you know, is still there
hmm
teaching just so he could like let us
yes.
know what that curriculum would look like. Cause I've had people reach out to me like, yo, I see your school. I'm trying to get into that. And I'm like, I can't even give you no answers because I didn't even like, you know, I'm not in the loop to know that this was a deal that was,
What's going to happen, right?
yeah. So But yes,
But hopefully they get all that worked out, and that's beneficial to the next generation, because it's always an amazing group of students that try to go there. So hopefully
absolutely,
that can help infuse
absolutely,
them with the type of funding they need to really help those students get to the places that they can go. But
absolutely. And it's
yo, like something you touched. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No. Please. I don't want you to lose your train of thought.
No, what I was saying is in coherence to what you're saying, I realized that LIU has had a lot of talented alumni. You with your podcast, but I know how much of a dope rapper you are, you know? We
Appreciate it.
shouted out Woodley, we shouted out Giselle, you know? That's just to name a few. Like LIU has people like I don't think a lot of people even know. Even SZA from TDE attended LIU when I was there.
I didn't even know SZA went here.
hmm
That's crazy.
SZA and Stolly, that used to be signed to MMG, they were both.
Yeah, Stolly went here too.
hmm From my understanding, Stolly was on the
That's
basketball team, but SZA was actually
what?
studying. Yes, SZA was studying marine biology. She was in LIU when I was a freshman. hmm Yep, yep. LIU, you will be surprised. I know it sounds crazy, but you'll be surprised the amount of people that came out of LIU and they're doing like major things. Like I could really give a list of
That's
people,
crazy.
whether
Shouts
it be
to
fashion or
wow.
music. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Mhm,
That's crazy.
mhm,
You just wow. You're always
mhm.
teaching me something. But yo, in what you were earlier talking about, one of the biggest things away from that, oh well, it was two. But I want to touch on them each separately. The importance of a network, but because of you had with these individuals, a lot of them wasn't even really looking from a fee for you. You understood the importance of making sure you took care of them anyway, because that's just how it seems like you like to cultivate and take care of the network you let people
Absolutely.
know the importance of establishing those networks and how that can help you, propel yourself where you're trying to go.
Absolutely. Networking is everything. And do not let anybody tell you, oh, it's not who you know, it's what you know. Yes, what you know is important, but it's also who you know. Because if who you know knows what you know and knows what you're capable of doing and knows the work ethic is beyond, you know, how they express it to people, you will get very far in life. So, like even with my panel, I developed my relationship with Kirk because we have a mutual friend, and the mutual friend and I were friends for almost over 10 years now.
Mm,
Over 10 years now. So that's something like that. And then he got to meet me. There was a time he needed a studio space to rehearse for a tour they were having. Couldn't get a studio space. I got him at LIU for free. Something just as simple as that, you know? He saved money. He didn't have to pay for a space. So it was just like when I reached out to him to speak on the panel, he's like, yo, sis, of course, that's dope. I have another friend. He's a A&R cinematic. It's like my little brother. I went to high school with his brother. I was the first person to give
mm.
him an interview when he was trying to be a rapper before he became an A&R. I was the first person that ever
Nice.
gave him an interview. First university to ever cut him a check. You know, so when I reached out to him too, like, hey, can you speak? And he's like, of course. Like, this is not an issue. So relationships are everything. And I feel like like even now with my current role, but those who don't know, I do work in Atlantic Records, and even with that, my friend used to intern there, and she was temping like her work ethic is just amazing. I can't even explain it. So the role she was temping in at the moment, they like how she was working so well, they extended her temp. So she was supposed to cover for another girl in a different department, and that young lady was only going to be away for the week. It was the week leading into Thanksgiving. So I was only supposed to temp for a week. Within that week of
Mm.
me temping, I was doing so good that they offered me a month temp role in marketing, in urban marketing. And then before the
Wow.
week came to an end, I was pulled to the side by HR and told that the COO wants me to temp for her because she likes the way I work. So, and then, that was like the COO noticed me. Like that felt crazy. Like, because the COO is a legend, like early
Wow.
Def Jam, like big legend.
Oh, one of those.
So it was just
Wow.
like, what? And then that month of me temping, and it's I temp for her for an additional 3 days. And then from that month, from there, I went on to do the month of temping in urban marketing. And I did such a good job. They extended it to the first week of January. And then that first week of January got extended into the first week of February. I even had interviewed for the role, but I see they decided to have went in a different direction, which I like fake. I got it at that time, that point in
Mm-hmm.
time. But you know what's for you is for you, and God's gonna make sure you're good. But at that time, so when I
Absolutely.
knew, so and I had interviewed for the role, I want to say before the year came to an end, you know. So we were
Wow.
still waiting on like what was gonna be the process, like you know who was gonna get it. So the main person who had decided on the role actually ended up leaving and went to a different company. So I said, you see how God really makes no mistakes, because I imagine they had left with them leaving and COVID, what would I might have been scared, like, damn, would I still have a job? Luckily, the individual still has it, but you know.
Mm.
And then, but when I found out that they were going to decide to go with someone else, the digital marketing department was already like, you know, wanted to know what was going on in my situation because they would have loved to have me. So I did my interview with digital
Wow.
marketing, and I got the job, but they had to start me as temp first to see, you know, how if I could keep up.
Of
So I
course.
temped. My temp was supposed to be for 3 months, from February, technically, yeah, from like February to May. So like my temp's supposed to be like technically 4 months then. Um, and I want to say like the week of my birthday, COVID has started to get like really big. So they shut down the office. The office was supposed to be shut down for one day. We haven't been back at work since the week of my birthday, since that
Wow.
Wednesday. And then by April, my boss called me like, "Yeah, we're gonna keep you." Mind you, my temp's supposed to end in May. April, I found out a month before graduation that Atlantic was gonna keep me full time. So, and I was supposed to temp at Atlantic Records for 1 week, and I am here now. November's gonna make a year
Look
later.
at that.
I was supposed to temp at Atlantic
Look at
Records
that.
for 1 week. For 1 week.
I mean, number one, con
Thank you.
definitely well deserved. But two, speak to the level of hard work that it took for you to get
It
right there.
really took hard
Because
work.
I don't think people really understand. Because you talking about it so calm, but like the hours that you put in, like when you
Oh
would
my
come to class,
gosh.
sometimes you'd be like, "Yo, I just came from this place and I gotta go that place." And
I
yo,
was
Trav, you don't understand.
I'm
Yo, don't fat. Yo, it's
tired.
like, you
No,
be
at one there
like,
was one like literally there was one class that I didn't attend all semester. One of Kenyana's
wow,
classes, if I'm not mistaken, and I had to like make it up for it because the work, like I there was when you so let me so I'm gonna take it back just a little bit. You mentioned networking.
yeah, please,
You
please.
mentioned networking. I mentioned my friend connected me. You see what I'm saying? My friend connected me.
Mm-hmm.
While I was in that office, that first week of
Yeah,
temping, I temped for the Chief Partnership Officer and the SVP of Brand Partnerships. Do you know the SVP of Brand
wow.
Partnerships knew our Professor Tony? And when she found out I knew him, she
Look at
said,
that.
she said, what? She was like, wow, I used to be the receptionist at Uptown Records. She said, you see, she used to give
Oh
me
man.
advice. She was like, okay, Tony's your professor. Then when the chief partnership officer, when I sat in her office, she looked at my resume. She's like, "Tell me a little bit about yourself." And then she was like, Mr. Prez, Sean Prez. Then I remember Bad Boy used to have distribution with Atlantic. So she said, "Oh my God, you know Prez?" I said,
Mm,
"Yeah, that's like one of my mentors." She said, "Tell Prez I send my love." That's another connection right there. So two big executives like,
come
"Oh,
on.
you came up under Tony
Two.
and Prez. Let's see where else you go with
Come
it."
on.
Then when I was over in
Come on.
urban marketing, I got real close with the radio team, the SVP of
Wow.
urban radio. We were heading to a mixtape, no, a video release party, a single release party for an artist that we have. And when I was speaking to him, like, yeah, I used to intern in Sirius, and my mentor is Reggie Hawkins. He said, "You know Reggie Hawkins?" He goes, "Oh man, I gotta call Reggie." He said, "Wait, you know Reggie?" He said, "What? Wow, I would have never." He was like, "Okay, I see you." And when I tell you, I worked my ass off so hard. I remember one time being at a Bowmore party. He the SVP said to me, he, and mind you, he's really like my industry uncle. He was like, "Yo, I'm proud of you, and I see the way that you're working." He was like,
Mm-hmm.
"You keep working and going the way that you are, you're gonna get very far, very, very far." So back to networking. I had three major like you know what I'm saying? Like big. That's big.
3 checks. Ding, ding,
And let
ding.
me tell you, put the icing on the cake. When we were at this birthday party, the
Uh,
COO saw me. She gave me a hug. You remember Professor Rich Nice?
yeah, of course.
Rich saw her hug me and he looked at me with confusion. And I was like, "Yeah, Professor, I work for Atlantic Records now." She was like, "Oh, yeah, we love Shauna." He looked at me, "I'm so proud of you."
Oh, shout the rich nice.
We're just like, "I'm so proud of you."
Oh,
He said, "No, I gotta
that's
take you and
beautiful.
Giselle out. I'm so proud of y'all." Wow. I said,
That's
"Yeah, and I
excellent.
graduate in May with my, I'm like, I graduate in May with my master's." He like, because you know when someone know you,
Come on.
he was like, "Oh my God." So you see what networking like. So I had
Come
like
on.
five, like my own industry connects that were able to vouch for me
Vouch.
something
Yeah.
different. So now when these
Come
executives
on.
meet me and they were like, "What the, like, you what?" Like, nah, we're proud of you. So yeah, networking is
Come on.
everything, but hard work is everything as well. Because if you don't have people who can vouch for you work wise, you get what I'm saying? It means
Absolutely.
your networks mean nothing. Because I there are people, and I've and not in my office, but more so like in general, because I've worked for the NBA before, and I remember even working for the NBA, like
Yeah,
there
you
were
used to
people
work for the
who,
Nets, right?
yeah, I remember seeing
They used to
people who,
come back and forth running from class from the Nets thing too. I'm like,
hmm
yo, Shauna, you've been a long time. Don't let these people tell you nothing different.
no,
Like,
absolutely, and it's so crazy because I remember even sitting back and watching that. There were dead times where like you will see people or interns who get certain opportunities because of a parent or whatever, and it's cool. No one's against that, but then the work ethic didn't match up, or they felt entitled
of course,
because,
of course.
oh yeah, my relative is this person, or my parent is friends with that person, or I got this job because yeah, I'm cool with this person, or yeah, my best friend is this person and they work in this department, so I know I'm gonna get the job here. I've seen it happen too many times, so it's like you don't ever want to be that person. Yes, it's always great to be connected, but listen, I didn't care how connected I was. That wasn't a guarantee I wasn't gonna get it, that I would get the jobs that I wanted. It's a plus. It's a plus
Yeah,
because
absolutely,
they know the person, but it's not a guarantee. So hard work is everything. Don't ever go in. And another thing too, don't
absolutely.
ever get comfortable. Me, but even with my job, I always say, and I'm not calling this into the air, because I'm big on positive energy. But I never get comfortable. I'm always working. Like I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So I always make sure I put more than my best foot forward. So if that means a sleepless nights, oh well. One thing they're gonna say is, "Oh no, you a hard worker." And
Mm,
when I had my check-ins with my boss, she told me that this week. She was like, "You understand it, you get it, and that's one of the reasons why I hired you because you know it, you get it, you understand it, and you work hard. You work very
mm,
hard." And that's the type of
mm.
compliments I want to hear. You know,
Come on,
that my work is noticed. Like I'm not saying I'm looking for recognition all the time, because no. But when your direct report tells you, "No, you work very hard," that means a lot comes from your direct report, because at the end of the day, that's the person that approved for you to get paid. It's one thing if your other
absolutely.
coworkers say it, but sometimes you develop relationships, friendships with your other coworkers. But when your direct report says it, like, no, I know the type of work you do. You get to it, that hits different for me.
Absolutely. It makes people want to vouch for you. It makes, and like you said, it makes people proud because they see all of the grinding you putting in is taking you where you deserve to go. So the more levels you go up, the more people that's gonna continue to see you in your web. They just know, like, we remember from such and such. Now look at you, like, and it's, like, your story is gonna be so dope. I already see the movie coming out. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit.
Oh my
Hold
God, why
on.
everyone keeps telling me this?
Yo,
Mm,
it's real. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I put me in a group of people that says the Shauna Jay movie gonna be crazy.
No, stop. You make me emotional because let me tell you, I try my hardest to not like, because especially like being a black woman in the industry and then being
Hello, 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 hello.
Korean.
Yes, we back. We back. Sorry about that. No, I don't know
I
what
was,
happened.
I was scared. I was like, oh my God, did I do something wrong?
All good, all good. But yeah, you were talking about your autobiography movie.
What I was saying was like, I've heard that so many times. I'm like, please don't gas me, because the day that happens, I'm gonna remember people like you who were been speaking on it, like been calling it in, like I'm gonna remember you be like,
Nah.
well,
It's
my bro
you
Travis definitely did tell me that was gonna happen.
absolutely, absolutely. But I'm sure I'm only just one of many people because I mean, we all see the work. You know what I mean? It's not like you said, you ain't get nowhere from that person, and you really put your grind in. And even times when people vouch for you, is because they was happy to vouch because you somebody that will put it without blinking and
No,
without thinking about it.
literally,
Part of the gig, and
literally. And you know what,
so
Travis? That's why, like, for anyone who wants to work in marketing, especially at a label, I want you to understand, like, right now. So, yeah, the hours are still. Well, I work in digital marketing. It's a little different. Our hours are like digital marketing is around the clock. Like, my friend joked with me the other day, yesterday, was like, "Oh, I'm surprised you had off today." She was like, "Do you ever get off?" Because I'm talking about I could walk to the Travis, you weak, bro. I could walk to the beauty supply store right now and an artist is texting me, hey, this song is up on YouTube in this language. I didn't approve of this. Can you get this taken down?
mm,
Or artists can hit me like, hey, I just recorded this for TikTok and Triller. Like, do I have to? But they didn't. I don't see any co-promotion from them. What's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the little things, and that's just on the weekend. Or why is this on the artist Spotify or manager writing me? This is why is this on the artist Spotify page? Can we get this taken down? Just the little things, the little
of
things. So
course, of
yes, like
course.
I know with digital marketing, we're like around the clock because for perfect example, what I basically do is I do a lot of the social and the like digital content like stuff for an artist. So like a lot of my main like so in my team we is a team of a bunch of young, educated, amazing digital marketers, and
Mm,
we're all assigned different artists. So for me, I have like Busy Banks, I have Coach the Ghost, I have Gucci Man and the whole 1017.
nice.
I have the whole High Bridge, literally the whole High Bridge. So that's Boogie,
Wow.
Trap, Don. Um, I also have Janelle Monet. I have Bree Steves. I have Radio, which is Issa Rae's label. Her artist signed to it, the label itself, and the Insecure soundtrack. So we do the digital
That's
marketing for all,
that's
and that's
quite an
just
extensive group of people you got to be going to bat for. Absolutely.
P- PNBJ. I could go down the list. We have an artist from Florida. His
Wow.
name is King Buck. So I had literally like have a caliber of artists, a roster. So with that being said, with digital, like at midnight, I'm the one that has to make sure like the link fire is updated. So for people who don't know, like I think every company uses different like links for their artists. But like whenever an artist puts out a single, you would notice there's a link in their Instagram bio or Twitter bio taking you to the song. I have to make sure that's live because if
Mm,
12:05 a.m. Eastern time, and someone goes and clicks on it and they're not able to click to the song directly on Apple Music or Tidal or Spotify, I'm gonna get the blame for it. Or
of
like to
course,
say
of
we
course.
pitch like them for a digital content piece. So if it's something digital like on a partnership with like a BET or an Audio Mac, like that's all us. That's the label side of things. you know? So
Wow.
it's so much to it. And it's like, in a sense, some people think, well, isn't that kind of PR? In a sense, it's kind of, I would say I feel like digital marketing does have a little bit of its PR moments because it's all about pitching an artist. And that's what public publicists do. They pitch artists to, like, different publications and stuff. But like on our end, it's like
Mm-hmm.
pitching the artist for, like, a digital platform, and just finding some place for the right content to live, you know?
Wow.
Because so
That's
it's a
dope.
lot. Yeah, and we work closely with the marketing department. So now the marketing department will consist of like product managers. So product managers are assigned certain amount of artists, like for example, like a Cardi B, her product manager is the her product manager is the head of marketing for the whole Atlantic. So
Wow.
well, on the urban side at least, so even with that, like, it's if when Cardi's releasing a single, like if COVID didn't happen, I guarantee you there would have been a big release party for the single. So putting together the party, finding
Mm.
the venue, being at the video shoots, figuring out the budget, deciding on what budget's going to go to us in digital, and then us taking our budget and figuring out how we're going to split it amongst ads and campaigns and internet advertising and all of that nature. Like, that's how, like, so if
Wow.
if the
Wow.
office was open, because everyone's working remotely now, if the office was open, yes,
Right.
I would warn anyone who wants to. And it's not a warning in a bad sense. You have to mentally and physically be prepared. It's a lot of running around. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. My coworkers, a lot of my coworkers, well, assistants, are from out of state, with the exception of like one another one of my coworkers, and she's from Brooklyn like me. And I lie to you not, you literally have to get your driver's license, because you never know. Though it will be the smallest thing. Sometimes you just might end up having to drive. You want to make sure you're capable of doing a lot.
Getting wherever,
Like, yeah,
absolutely.
lifting
Doing
up. I'm
anything.
talking about lifting up boxes. Like, even like with marketing, sometimes it's pitching too. Like, pitching, it's like facilities. You lifted up big boxes of probably merch that you have to put in packages. It's presentation. It's so much to go into it that people don't think. Like, they see like, oh, you're hanging out with an artist, or an artist follows your comments on your pictures, so you lit. It look lit, and it's fun, and it's amazing what we do. But the behind the scenes work, it's making sure people get paid. Because if people's invoices aren't fulfilled and paid off, they're not gonna do nothing else for you.
Of
Or you don't
course.
want to
Of
rub
course.
a
Of
bad
course.
taste in anyone's mouth. It's all about relationships. Sometimes if you have a great relationship with a vendor, and you've benefited the vendor in the sense where, like, they've done something for you, so you always make sure like they have income coming in, they probably might discount you or give you a certain company rate because, hey, you've always looked out, so I'm gonna look out for you. But like relationships, work ethic,
Relationships.
like you just, and never take nothing personal. It's business.
Mm. Mm.
It's business.
Wow.
Never take nothing
Wow.
personal. It's business. It's up to you to decide if you're gonna take it personal or not. But if you do, I can tell you, you failed already. Never take nothing personal. Now, I'm not saying tolerate disrespect, because that's a whole different ball game. But never take nothing personal. It's business.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely a master class for everybody. That was definitely dope. Definitely appreciate it. The other thing, but I mean you kind of already answered it. It was like it definitely sounds like there's a lot of executive production roles inside your role. And when I say that, I mean like it sounds like you're helping create concept and stuff. You're helping put the right people together. You yourself are having to be the person to put things together. It sounds like there's a lot of that entailed in your role, which is super dope. And it sounds like you're definitely catching your stride and figuring out your way and handling all those different uh job tasks and different responsibilities, and that's so dope. And I wish you much success with that, but I'm sure
Thank
you
you.
you got that in the bag. And yeah, yeah, yeah. And like you
You-
said, like
It's
the
a
not
it's a
being
learning
um
process.
hmm
It's a learning process.
definitely,
It's day by day,
definitely.
minute by minute, hour by hour. It's a learning process. Like, sometimes people are gonna do things that you're not gonna like, or they might try to shade you, laugh it off, brush it off, because when your work speaks for itself and everyone else knows what you're capable of doing, and it's like, 6 against 1 or 8 against 1, in your team, you always get the last laugh. It's a learning process. Like, look at, like I told you earlier in the story, I I interviewed for the role in marketing. I wanted it, but I think I wanted it more so because I just wanted to get in. But anyone who's known me, any interview I've ever been on, when they ask me, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now? I see myself as the VP of digital marketing for a record label. And
Mm,
God knew, like, what I was capable of, and God knew where He wanted to place me. I feel like now with COVID, and even before COVID, with the marketing role, it would have been a little bit more admin, not even a lot more admin than creative. I'm in a role now where it's more creative than admin. Like, I have my basic admin, which is what, invoices, but that's nothing.
right,
And it's not like, so how can I put it? I realized that a digital marketing assistant in my department, you're an assistant, but you're not really an assistant. You're not booking flight for the digital marketer. You're not doing their expenses. Meanwhile, in the other departments throughout the label, the assistants do handle flight. They do handle their expenses. They do
do more
handle,
of your logistic stuff. Yeah,
more
yeah,
the regular common, like, and that goes across with any company, handling
of course.
flight and travel and stuff. In my department, I feel like the only person who does that is really whoever's really assisting the head of digital and the GM of digital, because that's really more of an admin job. For the
Right.
assistants, and this is across the board in pop, rock, and urban, we're more
Mm,
creative assistants than anything. So, like, our and I like
that's
and
awesome.
I love that. Like, I will give Atlantic that 100%. I love that the digital marketers, like, and I mean urban rock, pop, you name it, we're the assistants. They, like, our DMs allow us to be involved. We get to be in on meetings. We get to voice our opinions on ideas. We even get to help with campaigns and, pitching stuff, and even sometimes taking the lead. Like, one of my bosses, he's so amazing. Like, he literally, like, we have a very high profile artist together. He basically just lets me, Shauna, she knows what she doing. She got this. He only steps
Wow.
in when needed be. So, like, if it's like we know a single's about to come out and it's like an ad campaign that needs to be run, he will step in, like, okay, I want to put this amount here for this song, and I want to start it this day. And can you give me a list of where the target audience is gonna be, or what target platforms you're gonna hit, so we could present it to the artist and his team. And that's when he'll step in, or, like, to say if he wants the creative to have a little bit more to it. Like, I'll put in everything for the creative, and then he'll see the sample, and then he'll be like, all right, you know what, let's switch it up a little, let me add a little bit of extra this. But then it's me learning for the next time, so next time he doesn't have to step in and say, oh yeah, no, I don't like this, let's add this. I'm already implementing it because this is how I know he would want it done. And everyone has their different style of how they work and how they like things done. So, with that being said, like, I love the role that in the department I'm in, because they, like, it feels good, like, to hear the product manager to the artist ask you, Shauna, what do you think? Shauna, what you or do you have any ideas? Normally, in most cases, you
Mm,
don't, and I'm talking about, like, assistants at any
wow.
company. You ever notice sometimes they don't ask assistants their opinion,
Of course.
but when digital, it's like
Not at all.
PR. Yeah, like, yeah,
They
like,
giving you some freedom to
people,
really
because
go in.
I think it's because the marketing and the publicity department see that the digital marketers really work together as a team. Not saying they don't, but, they see, like, oh, they really let y'all do a lot of the year. Because one thing my boss told me, which stuck with me, and I will always have a different type of loyalty and thankfulness for her. She said to me, when we hired you as alongside your other two coworkers who are, assistants as well, the point for us is to promote y'all from within, so that we don't have to go out and look. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm,
y'all are assistants
wow.
now.
That's
Yeah, so
big.
like y'all are
That's big.
assistants now, and then the next step would be coordinator. And then when you're a coordinator, technically you're still assisting them, so they don't have to really go out and look for an assistant yet. But you're still a coordinator. You're a coordinator. You're picking up some projects for yourself. You're getting the taste of the rope. Now, from coordinator will be digital marketer, and then once you become a digital marketer, now it's like, okay, we might have to find some assistants because you're a digital marketer now, or maybe they just or maybe they just
Now you
might
want
need
it.
us not
Now
need
you
us
ready.
assistants because it's a bunch of us, so we can all do the work. We probably just might have to hire one assistant
Mm,
for all of us in case of anything. But for the most part, we're all digital marketers now. Like,
wow.
well, we're digital marketers, and by that time, our boss probably be a VP because they're directors. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's levels to it. It's levels to it. Room for growth,
Room
absolutely.
for growth.
And
Room
it's
for
not
growth.
something you come across very often. But
Wow.
and I'm talking about just from working in a corporate environment before, or like even having friends who worked in corporate. Sometimes it's not room for growth. I've had friends who,
Very
when I
little
left
room.
a company,
Yeah.
they were still the same title. They now getting promoted. Like a year or two ago,
Mm,
you telling me you've been in that role since 2016? It's just like, sometimes people like to keep you at a certain level. But one thing I will say about the company that I work for, and I'm thankful that's not the case. Like, well, I could speak for just speaking from my personal experience, because everyone's experience is different. But I feel as if that's not the case. Like when your employers believe in you, especially if you develop that dope relationship with your direct report, if they see that you mastered a lot of things, trust me, they're gonna make sure they push you to the next step of being successful.
wow. Wow.
Mhm.
That's so dope. That's so dope. And you not only are you doing that, but I mean, in addition to your role at Atlantic, you've also been taking on more of your other role, which is so amazing at, which is doing interviews again. Like you've been killing it over at BET
Oh
lately. Please speak to that a little
yes.
bit. Like, I mean, congratulations on that as
Thank
well.
you.
Like, I mean, how did you get that working and going? Like, I mean, you don't. When do you sleep? Like for real, is sleep even a thing to
No.
you these days?
So,
Is that
and
just
this
not
and to take it
like?
back to the one thing you've mentioned before, relationships and networks. My friend worked with
Yeah.
me in the radio station. My friend, we always pushed each other. We've been each other's biggest support. And she's even said to me, like, I've never had a sister, but if God was to give me like a blood sister, you would be what I asked for. And I'm always thankful for you. So that's a relationship we
Oh,
had. So she
that's
knows
beautiful.
my personality. Her coworkers
Fire.
know me. Her boss met me. They met me. So they know me over there. Like, oh, that's Shauna. And then they know where I work now. So it's like, okay, it's lit. Like it's a connect. Like you know what I'm trying to say? Like it helps us both. So she pitched me to host and moderate the panel for the No Limit Chronicles and for the Rough Riders Chronicles. Um, basically a backstory on both labels. And I was blessed with the opportunity of
Wow.
interviewing Master P and the opportunity of interviewing
Yeah,
like Irv Gotti and the Rough Riders crew. And it's so crazy because people will probably hear this and think, oh yeah, your friend worked there, that's why you got it. No, it's not even just the fact that my friend worked there. If I didn't if I didn't have the personality that I had, if I didn't have the work ethic that I had, if I didn't have the experience, because it comes down to experience. This is not my first time interviewing a celebrity. This is not my first time.
absolutely.
I've I
Yeah,
have I've
you
I have
have
a
a
res
long history. I mean,
it's
people could
like
go on YouTube, people could go all over and
I done
see all the interviews.
interviewed I really
Yeah,
done
you really
interviewed
do
Mr.
this.
Vegas, Cranium,
Come on.
Lil Mama. I go down a list.
That's just
And
you
that's
pulling
my
back
old
out
and
your
that's
old
stuff from
bag.
like
Like that.
2016 going back. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've interviewed Lil Uzi and
Come
PNB
on.
Rock at Atlantic back in
Absolutely.
2016 before I ever even thought I would get a job here. So it's not my first time around. So I have the experience. 'Cause I guarantee you, if I didn't have the experience prior, she
Absolutely.
probably would not have recommended me. But she felt, or even
Even
considered
considered
me
you
for
for
it. But the
that.
fact
Come
that
on.
she knows, and she's like, oh, and then it works with me too because like when she has certain digital activation or digital content pieces that she wants to do, and she may need an artist. Girl, listen, I got a whole roster for you. Who I gotta connect you to, let me know. And it works out because I remember telling her like one of our artists, like, yo, you really gotta get him in, you gotta do something with him. When he released his second mixtape back in April, I went on BT one day and I looked, they did a whole digital content piece for him. So stuff like that. It may not happen right then and
That's
there, but
dope.
it's going to
That's so
happen.
dope.
So it's just the little things like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Those favors
Yeah.
add
Like,
up.
and don't let nobody tell you otherwise. That is a big thing in this industry. You'd be surprised who have friends where,
Yeah.
who used, like, there are people who are big executives over at some of these digital platforms that used to be interns for some of these big music executives at these major labels when they were at a different major label. So to see their former interns in that light and
Yep.
grow, it's like, oh my God, this is why I understand why Rich Nice or my mentor Reggie Hawkins would look at me in that light, because it's like, you were an intern. And now look at you. I have like the former VP who was over at the Nets from a couple years
Wow.
ago. Even like we have each other on Instagram. I see he's going to a different sports company now, a major sports team now. And I was in the comments, I was like, hi, Mr. by his first name, because I don't want to disclose his name on live. But I always used to tease him, be like, hi, Mr. Whatever. He was like, you Caribbean? Because you call me Mr. You make me feel old. And even him, he used to tell me, like, yo, you used to be my intern. And to see you grow and mature and navigate, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And that's really what it takes sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's really what it takes sometimes. So,
Nah, that's so dope and it's well deserved. Any other do they have any other ones you could tell us that's coming up or you like kind of keep that under your hat right now?
I'm right now, not that I personally know of. Um, I will say this though, like, a couple of the artists, like my first drill artist release I did was with Busy Banks, and just seeing how great that rollout turned out was amazing. Like the team, like we really
Mm,
bodied that. Like he ended up making the Heat Seekers list, number 24 on the Billboard charts.
nice.
Yeah, so like that's major, especially
That's
him being
dope.
from Brooklyn, East New York. I used to live in East New York. I used to live in Starridge. So, that's a major thing. And
Of course.
what I love is that like his whole team is Brooklyn. Me, the lead digital marketer,
Wow.
his product manager, the manager, like it's all Brooklyn, you know? We get it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we get it. We're like it's a dream come true. And then this Friday, another artist from Brooklyn that we have by the name of Coach the Ghost, he released his single. He's now the cover of the drill hype playlist on Tidal, number one on the Tidal playlist. The
That's
song, mind
fire.
you, when I made his YouTube, because he didn't have a YouTube. You know how like it's a trend in New York where like a lot of these artists, I realize they get video shot, but they don't be having real YouTube channels. They would just like put their music video on the channel of the video
Mm,
of the videographer. That was the case with him. I made him a YouTube, and I want to say within the first month of him having a YouTube, it was at like 300 and something followers, subscribers. And I'm like, okay. But I put up the audio to his singles, Hitless and Gooey Sauce. So at the time now, they like, I want to say Gooey Sauce was sitting at like 18,000 views. Gooey Sauce was I mean, Hitless was almost at 100,000, almost. It was like in the 80s. Now, for me, I also made him a
that's
Facebook
like
artist page. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I did that. Okay, I made him a Facebook artist page, and I started to promote that the new single was coming Friday. And you won't believe me if I tell you this. I put the video up on his official YouTube page. That before the by the nighttime, okay, his YouTube page was at like about 400 subscribers. His YouTube page right now is sitting at, I'm gonna tell you right now, because I could not believe it. I like it felt so good. Like I felt overwhelmed. I'm not too sure why it did that.
I think it hit a time limit.
All good. No, but I'll make it short and simple. But basically, his followers went from on in less than 48 hours. He was at like
Yeah,
1.9 thousand subscribers, so like 2,000. So basically, he's over like he's almost 3,000 subscribers right now on YouTube, and this is
sick.
within 72
That's what's up.
hours of digital marketing. The music videos at
Right.
145,000 views
That's dope.
for a brand new YouTube account. So that made me feel good, like
You creating a lot of traction for that artist.
yeah, I look like, and this is campaigns. This is without any internet, real
Wow.
internet like crazy advertising or marketing. This is just generic that people too they want to see him win that bad that he's sitting at that many followers right now on YouTube. So that made me feel good.
That's so dope.
Yeah, that's
Like,
definitely.
if you could just really quickly speak to the importance, like, because you mentioned it, of like placing your artists in the right lanes, and like making sure that they're in the for what they are, for what they product offering is. Like, speak to how important that is for the artists that you are marketing at your label, and just artists in general, like whatever they're promoting or branding. Like, how important is that to make sure like that they're in front of the right audience?
Yeah, it's a very important, and brand partnerships, that's where like they step in, they get involved as well. It's very important to get to know your artist and know what they like and things that they're interested in, because you have to make sure it just makes sense. It just makes sense. You can't have an
Mm,
artist who, for example, you can't say you have an R&B singer and to say she loves MAC makeup, but you're forcing color pop on her. You got to make it make sense. You got to
mm,
pitch her for MAC, make a song, have her
wow.
name drop Mac, or
Right.
like something on a Mac lip gloss, something.
Mm,
Make it so Mac could see, and
wow.
you could pitch, and then you could flip that. Where girls make that, you can look. That's a whole campaign. You could flip that, make it into a TikTok campaign. They take that one line, and girls probably do a transition to them from looking crazy to their face be applying their favorite Mac lip gloss, and then that brings more traction to
Mm,
Mac, and then Mac is, oh, we using this song. Can we use this song, or can we do use you in a campaign, or you never know, maybe give you your own line. It all you just have to put it where it
wow.
makes sense. Or like you can't take like artists. We like to ask our rappers if they play games. You'd be surprised. Not every rapper wants to play 2K. Some might like the football game. Was that Madden?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
some might like Xbox over PlayStation. You have to make it make sense. So
Wow.
it's
Wow.
very important to get to know your artist and what they like, and making it make sense, but making it look good at the same time.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah,
Wow. That's dope. That's
that's a
dope.
major one. Yeah, that's why brand partnerships is very neat, because they make that connection, you know, because it's sponsorship too at the end of the day too. Sometimes it could just be product placement in a music video. Like you ever notice in a
Can you
lot of
break
music
down the
videos,
uh,
can
can
you
you
break down what?
for me real quick, like brand
Product
placement
placement?
and product placement and brand partnership? Of course, me and you know what those things are.
Yeah, so brand
Listening that don't know
oh
those
so
terms and those
brand
terminologies. Like, yeah, please.
No, absolutely. So brand partnership, every label has brand partnership. So that's the department that is responsible for connecting with the different brands across all boards, whether it be Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Beats, Fashion Nova, beauty brands. It could possibly even be a food brand. You never know who might have a big thing. I remember K Michelle used to be signed to Atlantic Records years ago. And I remember she had a Jack Daniels deal. Like she ended up having her own line of different Jack Daniels, and her being a
Mm,
southern girl, it made sense. So in a situation like that, whenever she shot her videos, you probably might see a Jack Daniels bottle somewhere in the video, and they might do a close up on it. That is an example of product placement. Two examples of product placement that you see all the time in the
wow.
music videos
Wow.
across: Bel Air and Beats. You will always find a Beats pill
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
some type of Beats speaker or headphones in a music video, because a lot of these artists, or a lot of these labels might, or I think it might be the artist itself. Let me not say the label. A lot of these artists might have a endorsement deal with Beats. So then you might also see them in a Beats commercial. Same goes with Bel Air. I realize that Bel Air has a very strong connection with the hip hop community. Same as Ciroc. So you may find that now Bel Air does content digital pieces with these artists on their social media platforms. So you can get to know them a little bit, and they're considered Bel Air boys or Bel Air girls. And then they will get these caseloads of Bel Air. You'll see Bel Air product, Bel Air bottles in the music videos, or they might do a studio. They might have to post a studio content piece. They in the studio, regular content piece on the phone, and you see the Bel Air bottles right all in the studio while they while they're filming. So it's
Mm,
just the
mm,
little,
mm.
like, it's just the little things. It's all about product placement and brand marketing. Like Cardi B, you see her fashion over, fashion over, fashion over. That's another example of, like, something brand partnership possibly put together. It all depends. Like, and even if it's not a label thing, just a in general thing, there are people there. You have influencers. Influencers are those people we see on the internet that have like 100,000 or just over like 20,000 followers or 10,000 followers. And
Right,
they will be
right.
wearing an outfit and they'll tag like, "Oh, check out my pretty little thing outfit," or "Check out my fashion over men," or "I got my hair from," or they tag in the hair vendor or something. Chances are they're the brand ambassador or one of the brand ambassadors. So they're getting paid to post content in those products, in those, like, whether it be hair or an outfit, and then they're hashtagging it. That way, people are drawn, like, people click on that hashtag, they'll show up in the search, or they might say, "Oh, I bought this item based off of this person posting it." So those are, like, brand partnerships is a major thing, and that's something that they do for a lot of our artists.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And I appreciate you taking the time to break that down because yeah, I mean, while me and you, we went to school for those things, but like somebody just might, tune in and listen in. So I definitely appreciate that because, we definitely want to make sure people are educated on those things because it's super important
Yeah.
to know, how they can win as much as possible. So thank you so much for that. That was wow. Again, like it's like you giving us a master class right now. I really appreciate it. You have no idea. Um, so I mean, what does the rest of 2020, even in this modified workplace, because it sounds like you working twice as hard, even if you may not be going into the office. Like,
Um,
so what does the rest of this modified work year look like
I
for
have a
you?
lot of releases coming every week. I'm gonna say I have a
Mm,
release coming every week. I know for sure I definitely have a release coming every week to the end of October with one of my major
wow.
artists, and then with another group of my major artists. I know, like, they're supposed to be individually dropping projects. So honestly, I have
Mm,
releases technically till the end of the year. And then just preparing
that's
for the
dope.
top of the year. Right now with a lot of the entertainment companies across the board, they're saying that we're not returning to office till 2021. But the biggest question is, I guess, are we
Mm,
returning in January? I personally don't know. I don't think so, just from a health
mm,
standpoint of, like, we know fall time is flu season. And with COVID, I feel like the second wave is definitely gonna hit. I would only hope not, but I feel like it is gonna hit. Hopefully, a lot of people aren't gonna get sick and perish from it because it's very unfortunate. Like, I lost one of, like, my uncles to it, in a sense. He's like an uncle to me. So yeah,
yeah.
so
So sorry.
thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate you for that. So it's like the severity of it is really insane. So with that being said, my personal opinion, I don't think any of the entertainment companies are gonna go back until after March because they closed down the office in March. And if you want to be technical, if they closed it down in March and so many people were dying in less than a month, I don't think we're gonna go back probably till, like, when it gets real warm, real warm, and they for sure found a cure for it. That's just my personal opinion. Because I
wow,
don't think they found, like, a real vaccine
wow.
yet, correct? I don't think so.
Yeah, I know they saying they testing
Yeah,
things, but it's still up in
I
the
don't think
air.
they found, like, a
Yeah.
real vaccine. So, and the thing was, coronavirus technically been around almost a year now, because the first time they really started talking about
Mm-hmm.
coronavirus was like October, November. It's about to be a year since coronavirus really started to emerge. But like as far as like
Started to come on.
it killing people, what was March was definitely when people were dying like crazy from it. March, April.
Yes,
So that's why I
yes,
personally don't think
yes.
they're gonna have us go back in January, February, and March. It's
At least
I
until
don't
that
think
time.
yeah, I don't
Makes
think
sense.
so
Makes
until at
sense.
least like the springtime because like between March and April, people were dying like no other. It was actually scary how much people were dying from it.
Very
Yeah.
true. Yeah, it was tragic. So yeah, I definitely, you know, can understand that. That makes sense. Definitely got to keep everybody safe and sound. Artists, staff,
No,
admins, everybody.
literally, 'cause-
And
and I just
you know,
mean not just staff, not just us in entertainment in general. Because even like, for instance, the news the
of
other day they said the public schools they already had a list of public schools where people tested positive. They had like a couple hundred
yeah,
cases.
yeah,
Teachers like, are you
yeah,
crazy? Then they're talking about this
yeah,
outside learning. Well, this outside learning has to come to an end now
yeah.
because, and the reason I say that
How's that gonna work all year?
yeah, they're like, oh, they're giving them the option of outside learning right now. Look at how the temperature just dropped. We're gonna have a very cold winter, and I feel like
It's like 50
it's gonna
degree. It went
hit.
from
Like, Trav, do you not feel this weather? I swear,
so
the other
hard.
night I went out for my friend's son party.
It went crazy. Yeah,
Travis, when I tell you, bro, I was like, I could have thrown my Uggs. It was freezing, and I'm talking about the guys had on sweatsuits, and they still ran in the house because that's how cold. And we were in the backyard with a tent and a little heat and a heater, and it was still cold. So it's just, hopefully, I would love to go back into the office because I do miss the office environment. I do miss. I'm not gonna lie, that was my workout. I feel like I've gained a lot of weight since I've been home, but I do miss the office. I do miss the interaction of seeing your coworkers and catching up with them, going to lunch with them. Like it's cool doing a little catch ups on the digital aspect of like, the webcam and stuff. But sometimes you just really want to be around people. There's some people who really function better around people and
of
work better
course,
around
of
people, or
course.
they feel more productive when they're in an office full of people. There's some people who are like that, So
Yeah,
yeah. With that being said, I wouldn't
absolutely.
like I would only hope that we go back. Like I would love for us to go back at the top of the year, but if God says it's not the time, it's still like we got to sort this COVID stuff out by all means. By all means, better safe than
Absolutely.
sorry
Better safe
always.
than sorry always. Always
Exactly,
there on the side of caution.
exactly.
That's the fact.
Ex-
Yo, Shauna, this has been absolutely a blessing and a treat. Yo, I really appreciate this, and I hope we could do this again very soon. This has been so
No,
dope.
it's definitely
Like you gave us like a master class. You gave us like amazing. Like for real, I appreciate you. I'm sorry.
no,
What was you about to
definitely.
say?
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me. It was always a pleasure. You can always reach out. I would definitely come back. Hopefully, it could be if you wanted to film next time, we can try and make that happen. So, definitely, I really, really am thankful.
That'd be fire.
Yeah, I really am thankful, and I wish you the best on everything. I'm proud of you for doing this podcast. This is dope. I only hope you continue with the music as a whole
Thank
and
you.
just, educating the young black kids about music because I know you were doing something like that as well at one point. I really do wish you nothing
Yeah,
but the best. So thank you.
yeah. I definitely appreciate that. Yo, good looking, and yeah, 1,000. Nothing but success going forward. But I know you gonna have your laser beam vision going, and you gonna handle that. So with all that being said, definitely hope we talk soon again. And peace, blessings, all that going forward, and just health to you to the end, for real.
Yeah, it's definitely shout out to everybody that came through today. It's been an amazing show so far. But I was checking out Coda the Friend's new project. Shout out to Coda the Friend. Brooklyn Bodega. Dude is amazing. Watching his growth and development as a fellow Brooklyn MC. it's really dope to watch. It's really dope to see. It's really dope to get to enjoy somebody come up. He just put out his new project, Everything. It is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. He's got great tracks, top to bottom. Love the whole project. It's definitely one I'm going to put on repeat, listen to a lot. It definitely speaks to 2020. Definitely has some good vibes. Definitely has some dope bars. Definitely has amazing production, good mixing, good transitions from beginning to end. The flow of the album, everything was absolutely phenomenal. A couple of tracks that really stood out to me were Mi Casa. 7 was absolutely super dope. He had amazing features. He had Toby Lou on the track Morocco. Hopefully there's more to come between those two. He had Super Duper Kyle, aka just Kyle now, on the track Always. And then he had his big single BQE with Joey Badass and Boss, who was of Dreamville fame. Really amazing album. Really amazing album. If I had to rate it out of 10 matches, I'd give it 9.5 matches. This dude's definitely a flamethrower. This album's a flamethrower. Code of the Fiend, you definitely came out with an amazing body of work, top to bottom, from Summer Houses all the way through to the end. Everything is a great project. Again, definitely check it out. Code of the Friend on everything, everywhere. KOTA, The Friend. This album, Everything, is absolutely amazing. Highly recommend it. Shouts to Code of the Friend. Shouts to all of the artists he had on the tracks. Toby Lou, Kyle, Joey Badass, Boss. There's also some other features on there. Those are the ones that really I truly enjoyed, that stood out to me the most. The whole album is great. The whole album is amazing. He really put out a great collection of work. 9.5 matches out of 10. Damn near perfect album. This thing is definitely a flamethrower. Shouts to him. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. This is his Ghetto Point of View. I bring you the news, previews, views, reviews with just a twist of my Ghetto Point of View. I also checked out the film Aries. It was like a French dystopian film where, because everybody was poor, they started this fight club thing where they would have these prize fighters fight with their new synthetic drugs, their new dopes that they were actually trying to put onto the market and sell to the highest bidders for use with their labor forces. So it was crazy. So they would have these prize fighters use the medication, but then they would turn around and then say, hey, you want to buy this and use this for your workforce. So let's say you owned a huge warehouse chain with millions of workers, and you needed a way to keep them up and moving and running optimally throughout the time they're employed with you and not getting hurt as much. These were the medications to do it. Like, people's noses were getting broken and they would just pop them back in place. It was very brutal. It was very hardcore, extreme. But it was definitely a great film, and the name of the film was XHS. And, these elite corporate owners, they pretty much corporations, were running all of France at this point. Literally, the Eiffel Tower had TVs on it that ran commercials all day. It was definitely a very interesting film to watch. And, the champion prize fighter, this guy named Aries, he was pretty much fighting to make sure he had money to feed his family, to raise his family as best as he could. And he was pretty much like the LeBron in their time. But instead of playing basketball, he was just a world-renowned prize fighter who took this medication. And because he took this medication, everyone else was okay with taking the medication. The name of the film is Aries, A-R-E-S. I thought it was great. It was shot well. The story flowed. It, definitely had some extreme scenes in there. If it's, it had some male-on-male action. If that's not your cup of tea, that's not your cup of tea. It is a French film, though, so, that is to be expected. But the story was dope. The themes was dope. The scenes, climax, the ending, everything was great to me. I thought it was a great film overall. I'm not really a big fan of films that I just have to read the subtitles all the way through, but I am a film connoisseur, and I've been doing that since I used to watch the old Dragon Ball Z films and the old Kung Fu flicks, so I'm used to it by this point. Sometimes I like to just relax and let the dialogue help me through the film. But if if I have to just read through the film, it doesn't take away from its enjoyment at all. And sometimes some of those films, they're best served just staying in their language because it kind of helps the story. Like I've watched the Memoirs of a Geisha in the original film. I've watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in the original language. And sometimes those stories need to be kept in that. It really helps with the story from a context and a cinematic perspective. It helps with the feel of the story. If you can really hear the emotion of the actors, you might not understand what they're saying word for word, and something might have been lost in translation had they tried to convert it to English, because our version and our translation of some of the words of other languages, while it might be a technically accurate translation and that makes it easy for us as Americans to understand, it might not capture the feeling. It might not capture the context of the word. And so sometimes they will choose just to put it in subtitles for us, but leave it in its original language, because all of that helps with creating the ambiance, creating the mystique, creating the setting, creating the energy of the film. And so Ares, Ares, amazing film. Catch that on Netflix. And of course, Code of the Friends album, everything. Super amazing. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. This is his Ghetto Point of View, where I bring you the previews, reviews, views, and the news. Just a twist of my Ghetto Point of View. Sundays and Wednesdays we do this. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We get to it. So in other news, Donald Trump is on tape having admitted that he knew the severity of the coronavirus, but he just wanted to keep everything calm. And so people are questioning, how could a president not tell the people? Why wouldn't he just give us all of the information? I'm not the president. I can't say what I would do in that situation. Would I want to maintain order while moving around behind the scenes to try to enact things to keep my people safe? Or would I make them aware and, give them the option of what they want to do with that information? I think that's a very hard thing to say. You see how many people have moved out of the cities and are not planning to return to major cities like LA and New York. That's really bad for those economies. That's really bad for the country's economy as a whole. Because when you don't have the major cities like LA and California generating the tax revenue and generating the revenue streams, period, doing the business, the commerce, the exchange, the trade that they normally do, that can have a ripple effect throughout the entire rest of the nation. Now, I know you could think, oh, well, if they just took that money other places, they can just spend that money. Those people can just spend that money wherever they go. Not necessarily, because they may not find the same level of employment. They may not do the same jobs. They may not have to do as much traveling, as much eating out, as much business meetings, as much taking as many flights or as many trips or as many Ubers or as many Lyfts or as many private cars. They might not do as many business meetings. They might not need as many wardrobes, as many pairs of shoes. They may not have to have as much tailoring done, may not have to hire as many maids or cleaning assistants or janitorial staffs. They might not have to hire as many event teams, DJs, etc. So yes, they can take their money and their quote-unquote salary and move to a state like Maine or Missouri or Ohio or Montana. They can move to any of those cities or states, absolutely. Arizona, they can move to New Mexico. But the problem with that is, if those places aren't set up with the same infrastructure as a New York or a LA or a California, any part of California that's San Francisco, etc., they don't move to a big place where the infrastructure is set up for that type of business, trade, and commerce to continue on a steady basis. And if they don't have the trust in the environment, if they're wary about going outside, if they'd rather just do business at home, that kills tons of companies. People used to go out to eat for lunch, just as an example, at work, or you have a business meeting at a nice restaurant that's local to your office. That's not happening as much. People can't dine in right now, so that kills a ton of restaurant business, because all of the ancillary things you would order while sitting in a restaurant, a beer, a glass of wine, a shot, dessert, all of those things are not happening. The additional tipping of the wait staff and the cooking staff is not happening. None of those things are occurring. People bringing extra people out for lunch, having other colleagues meet you at a meeting, none of those things are happening. That is a huge part of business. Cleaning companies are not having to clean offices as much. Companies that did corporate cleaning, companies that did corporate security, companies that literally tailored their business around being the supports for corporations are literally out of business. People that administrate people's payrolls, people that administrate people's books and accounting. That stuff is not as necessary right now. There are literally tons of companies who literally their business is just to service other companies and make their lives easier to run their companies. And those companies are floundering to try to figure out how they transition. And many of them will not survive, will not make it. Our middle class and our upper middle class are crumbling right at our feet. And it is very tragic. Hopefully something happens before the bottom falls out. This is his Ghetto Point of View. We're going to jump into some music real quick. We'll be right back. Yeah. So, things are heating up in the bubble. Things are heating up in the bubble. Things are heating up in the bubble. The brooms are being pulled out as the Western Conference Championship race is not heating up at all. And it looks like the Denver Nuggets are just too overmatched by the Los Angeles Lakers. And in the Eastern Conference, the Miami Heat are just dismantling. Absolutely dismantling. Everybody in their path. Which is interesting. Who would have thought that the Miami Heat would be the Eastern Conference champions? Potentially. In the next couple games. Jimmy Butler's an absolute stud. Bam Adebayo's an absolute stud. Tyler Hero is a young, unsung, up-and-coming nightmare for a lot of people in this league. You don't get the last name Hero for nothing. You don't get the last name Hero for nothing. The dude's a problem, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to watch his growth and development as things move forward. He had a lot of confidence and swag. From day one as he came into the league, he knew he was going to be special. His team around him knew he was going to be special. And he's just living his life like it's golden and manifesting his energy to the umpteenth degree. And it's special to watch. Kid's got a beautiful jump shot, great mechanics, poised, never rattled, enjoying the moment, in love with his situation, huge, big, confident smile across his face as he hits dagger after dagger in people's eye. Gotta love it. It's really a joy to watch. Definitely looks like LeBron is just stomping his way through to his 4th championship. So, congratulations to the Miami Heat and LA Lakers, who look like they will be meeting in the finals, which is interesting because you have now LeBron getting to go back against his old team. Synchronicity. It's crazy. This is his Ghetto Point of View. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. In other news, Kanye West, man. Whew. Kanye West has had a very, very serious 2 weeks, week and a half. Oh man, Kanye. Oh man, Kanye. Oh man, Kanye. We definitely going to delve deep into this on Wednesday, but what I would like to say is it doesn't look like the man is playing. It looks like he's very serious. It doesn't look like any more games are going to be tolerated. It doesn't look like he wants anything else but to be free right now. And anybody who disagrees with a man wanting to be free, I really don't know what to say to that. I really don't know how to feel. Now, I know you could say he's being extreme, he's exposing his contract, so of course Twitter had to block him, privacy regulations, etc. Is this excuse? Why does he have to urinate on a Grammy? Did he have problems with the Grammys? Why is he going at the Grammys? I think Kanye just overall is going at the establishment, and I think he's just tired of us giving all of our love, praise, and attention and adoration to an establishment which doesn't return the sentiment, which doesn't return the favor, which doesn't return the love and the energy consistently with the efforts. I think he feels that for all the creatives like himself do for these entities, very little is shown in return as far as reciprocal energy. And at some point you can't be mad at somebody for saying enough is enough and wanting some ownership and wanting a stake and wanting to leave a legacy. Because one of the other things that's being stipulated is Kanye, as he released and showed his contract, stating that Jay-Z sold Kanye's masters to Def Jam to get his own back, because he sold them earlier when him and Dame initially got into their dealing with Def Jam to get more advance money. I don't understand that. I feel if Jay-Z viewed as big boss, as you've always presented yourself as, I shouldn't say pretend is the wrong word. If you this big boss, if you're about independence and you're about, black ownership, and that's always been your vibe. It's always been the position you've taken, your stance, your wave. Yes, I understand that Def Jam could offer you some upfront money to get into some other ventures and to move some capital around and start to make capital work for you. But at what expense? How much, like Master P said, if they willing to give you $1 million, it's probably worth 10 million. It's probably worth 100 million. If you already out there in the streets making money, if you already touring and making money, you guys are making so much money that you can afford to finance and or buy, however you did it, having old school BMWs, bubble eye BMWs as they used to call them, with your face airbrushed into it. If you can afford to do all of that, what could the labels pay for at that time that you couldn't get yourself? I'm sure you guys could afford to take care of the DJs. I'm sure you guys could afford a tour. If you couldn't, I'm sure you guys could try to get a sponsorship with a Sprite, McDonald's, Nike, Hanes, Adidas, Reebok, McDonald's, Popeyes. I don't understand why sell your stuff, and then if you're going to sell your stuff, why then turn around and sell someone else's stuff to them in exchange to get yours back? That to me is the epitome of maintaining the status quo, maintaining the bad business, and allowing other people to get rich off of the blood, sweat, and tears of creatives. As a creative myself, that's disgusting. As a creative myself, I don't understand how that's supposed to stand. As a creative myself, how does that continue to be? I don't understand. What are we doing? Where are we going with this? If we supposed to be the changing of the guard, if we supposed to be the ones to bring in a new era, we supposed to be the ones now fighting for the artist to win. The first thing we should do is make amends for our past. Make amends for the things that we've done wrong. If Jay-Z did that back in the day, allegedly, if Jay-Z allegedly did that back in the day, fix it, Jay. Fix it. Make it right. Don't just sit there and let that situation linger out there. Handle it. Take care of it. Be a man about it. Admit to what you did was wrong. If you feel what you did was wrong. If the deal's not reversible unless you're willing to give back up your own masters, then you gotta cut Kanye the insane type of check that would feed his family for a few generations of a family, because what you've done is taken the money that he could literally have his children's children live off of. You've taken his intellectual properties. For those that don't know, intellectual properties are your ideas. When you create a song, the parts of the song that you originally came up with, whether that be lyrics, if you're rapping the lyrics, if you put some keys down and came up with a melody, if you came up with, the chorus, if you came up with the whole song and you wrote, you composed the musical parts, you composed the piano parts, you wrote out, you played out some drums, you played out a guitar, you did all of it electronically or in a computer or in a keyboard. However you composed that song and wrote that song, wrote some lyrics, or if it's just an instrumentation, that's your song, that's your intellectual property. Out of your intellect, you created that idea. So now that is your baby, your entity, your property, which you can turn around and license and or sell to people. You can license it for particular periods of time. You can sell the rights. You can sell portions of the rights, 25%, 50%, 85%. You do not have to give it all away. That is your right to. But then to resolve the issue of you giving your stuff away by then giving someone else's. While I understand that might be business, that might be shrewd, that might be calculated, and it might be seen as, hey, just what it is. When do we get to the point where we say enough is enough? When do we get to the point where we just trust ourselves and gamble on ourselves and play the long game and say, I might not have a lot of money up front. I might have to walk around a little bummy. I might have to struggle a little bit, but I believe in my music. I believe in my movie. I believe in my clothing line. I believe in this book I wrote. I believe in my business. I believe in my bakery. I believe in my new dinner rolls. I believe in this new deodorant I just designed. I believe in this new trimming razor blade, these razors with the 4 jet line streams. I believe in this new lotion I created. I believe in this new cocoa butter, this new fragrance. I believe in me. I believe in my talents. I believe in my intellectual properties. I believe in my ideas. If they're willing to give me $1 million, if they're willing to give me $500,000, it's worth way more than whatever they're willing to invest in me up front. And yes, their investment in me is a gamble, so they should profit. But me investing in myself is a gamble. And if they willing to invest in me, then I should be willing to invest in me just as much, if not more. And I think sometimes we forget that part of the process, that we should be willing to invest in ourselves just as much, if not more. If you don't have the money and the finances, get a loan, get a bank loan. Can't get a bank loan? Go to the mob, go to the mafia. I don't know. I'm just playing. Go to your rich aunt, your old uncle. Get 2 or 3 or 5 jobs. Start a susu. There's practice collective economics and get a bunch of people willing to give you a small amount of money. Start a GoFundMe, or back then it wouldn't have been a GoFundMe, just a susu, or go to the local church. Get some people that's willing to invest. You do not have to give up your intellectual property, and by not giving up your intellectual property, if you are successful, if your dreams come into fruition, you will make way more money. And if you have to do a deal with them, do a licensing deal. Do a deal where they get a portion of your ownership. Do a deal where the ownership returns to you in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Do not permanently give up anything ever. Because yes, you may need some startup money, and then with that startup money, you can use some of your other intellectual properties or the intellectual properties of other people you collab with, other artists, other peers, other colleagues, to then now own some stuff and push that stuff out there as well, that the labels or whoever you're working with doesn't own. The coding companies, the book companies, the clothing lines that they don't own. And you can use that as the base to get that going. But at the end of the day, it's all about ownership. It's all about leaving a legacy. It's all about your children's children being able to eat off the things you do out here. Because if not, then what are we doing them for? So I don't understand if Jay-Z did that. That would be very disheartening. And he should resolve that immediately. And Kanye shouldn't have had to go public with that for that to be handled. Because you know what you've done, if you've actually done it. Kanye shouldn't have to go public with that to get handled. Hopefully they handle that. Those are two good dudes. Those are two great brothers. Those are two pillars in our community. Those are two pillars in the hip-hop community. And it would be a shame of those two pillars to have to take each other down. But Kanye shouldn't have to leave his family nothing when he's gone. And I know you're saying, oh, what do you mean nothing? He has cash. Yeah, cash is great. But cash ebbs and flows. Cash can come and go. Intellectual properties can continue to generate you money for the rest of your life, for the rest of your kids' lives, and their kids' lives, and etc. on into the future. That's what I want. I want to be able to re-get this $100 million. I don't want $100 million now. I want $100 million 30 years from now. And I want the ability to be able to regenerate $100 million if I lose this $100 million. Or if I need more money to expand on what that $100 million is doing for me. Intellectual property is everything. Property, ownership. Those are the ways to become wealthy. Those are the ways to become wealthy. Those are the ways to become wealthy. And that's what we're working on, gang, right? We all gonna be rich out here. Richer than rich. We're gonna be living in abundance. We're gonna be doing our thing. It's your boy Phantm Phuego. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. This edition of His Ghetto Point of View has actually been an amazing one. Shout out to Shauna for coming through. Shout out to Shauna Jay for coming through. Shout out to Shauna Jay for coming through, sharing with us her amazing story of her grind that's led to her being a premier person in the digital marketing department over at Atlantic Records right now. She's got a lot more in the store. She's got a lot more in the tank. Shout out to all the artists that she's working with. And, make sure you're on the lookout for all of their amazing projects. Shout out to everybody that watches the show. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. His Ghetto Point of View is coming on Wednesdays and Sundays. Wednesday, I have an amazing guest that's going to be in the building. It's going to be a dope show, good vibes, good energy, great times. Let us know, guys, anything you need. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. His Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. Let us know if you have any products that you'd like to place in front of our audience, any content that you'd like us to share out with our audience. If you'd like to just share your story with our audience because you feel it's a dope one, his Ghetto Point of View at gmail.com. Please continue to get at us. You can also find me at HGPOV Show on Instagram, His Ghetto Point of View on Instagram. And yeah, man, we getting out of here. Shouts to the team at AnchorFM.com, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Radio Republic. You can find me at all those great places. And I love you guys. We're going to be great. We're going to have a great week. See you Wednesday. Take it easy. Cheers.